Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. It is a boring video kind of day. We didn't post any video today because yesterday it took like nearly 4+ hours to edit down all of the stuff from the Mickey's Christmas party, which was done after the normal day of work. So you figure, good like 10-11 hours of regular work, then another 4 hours, and then after that there was really no time left to actually record anything or do anything outside of just trying to get that video up. But I think it came out pretty good, so hopefully you guys that have been asking forever if we're going to go to these Disney parties enjoyed that video, because we did have fun, although I don't think that I would probably go back to the Christmas party per se, because a lot of that stuff is given away for free at the end of the Christmas holiday, or in between Christmas and New Year's usually. But we had a good time, especially meeting Jack Skellington. Jack meets at the Halloween party and then he meets at the Christmas party. We've never met him at all at either of the two because the lines are usually just absolutely ridiculous, but that was kind of like our mission for the Christmas party this year at least. We have not made it over to Hollywood Studios for their new Jingle Bam or Jingle Ball. I know folks always feel the need to correct me down below with the right name. The reality is the name is kind of irrelevant to me. It's the next production show and fireworks at Hollywood Studios. Obviously no Osborne lights there this year. The lights didn't get replaced over to somewhere else. I think the reality is there's just too much stuff going on and not enough space for them to have lights at the park. They're doing what they can to at least have something at Hollywood Studios for now, which is great. But, it's not what it was before, and maybe someday we'll see Osborne come back in a different capacity elsewhere in the Disney parks. But right now, Hollywood Studios, great deal of construction going on. But in any event, I kind of got way off course. We'll be at Hollywood Studios, or at least I think I'll be there tomorrow night. I'm not sure if anyone else is going from the family, but I will get there because the park is actually open tomorrow night for some reason to 9 p.m. instead of the normal 7 p.m. So normally during the week now, that projection show is at like 6:30 at night, which is next to impossible to get to after a day of work and trying to deal with Orlando traffic. So tomorrow night, we'll be able to record the show. Thursday, you guys, if you're watching the channel and you haven't seen it yet, you'll be able to watch it. So outside of Disney stuff, I've been looking at two things, pretty much obsessing over for the last couple of days. Completely unrelated items, but since Christmas is coming, I've been looking at this, Gaylord Palms Ice, trying to get back to ice. And for folks that haven't been to ice before, it's basically like a 9 degrees temperature inside sculptures within like one of the ballrooms or areas in Gaylord Palms Resort that they carve out different types of statues or likenesses. So always towards the end of the display, they have more Christian type things like the manger and baby Jesus and stuff like that. But every year they have a theme. This year's theme is Peanuts. I am a huge fan of Peanuts, Charlie Brown, Snoopy, etc. So this year Gaylord Palms Ice features them. The only thing that I've been looking at is that there's like a million different packages that they offer, and they're all fairly expensive. To go and check this out, they normally have like this big ice slide, and a couple of years ago they added the ability where they have like snowball fights or snow tubing and stuff like that. And we haven't done the snow tubing, and I haven't been to ice probably in the last 2 to 3 years at this point. So I'm anxious to get back there, but the prices just for like ice itself, and I'm looking here, it's like $29 for adults just for ice, or if you want the combo ticket for ice plus the snow tubing, then it gets up to like $46 a person. And then they have like an ice bar where you can catch some cocktails, and that's like $16. There's Charlie Brown character breakfast in the morning, and that's like another $33. So you try to figure out, like, you start stacking thing on top of it. It's like going to an amusement park for a day for going to see this ice exhibit, which is super awesome, but super expensive. But in any event, I am trying to see about getting that fit into plans, and hopefully sooner than later before the rest of the stuff at the theme park starts coming up, because as far as Christmas time goes, things start to really catch up a little bit more, after the fact, like Epcot with the holidays around the world, the SeaWorld stuff, Busch Gardens has Christmas Town. If folks are wondering what my thoughts are as far as the best places to go see Christmas type stuff at the parks, hands down for me, the best, and I know this is always controversial, but SeaWorld does Christmas the best, as far as like keeping religion within the Christmas holiday also. So SeaWorld has a live nativity scene that takes place. They have a dinner with Santa that you can do as an upcharge. They have ice skating. They have all kinds of stuff like carolers out and about and things. So I always thought SeaWorld does a really magnificent job with Christmas. And I'd say second best experience for Christmas at the parks is probably Epcot. Epcot Christmas around the world, or holidays around the world, is fantastic. You go from country to country, and they usually have the representation of what takes place in that country. Within that country, you can go back and look at some of our older videos for some of the experiences that we've had before at Epcot. Of course, there's Santa there, and if you're looking to meet Santa at any of the Disney parks, that's easily the best park to meet Santa at, because he has a steady stream of people consistently meeting him in the American Pavilion. And they also have Santa's counterpart in England, Father Christmas, and he does a really awesome storytelling type experience, and he does pictures as well, walk-up. So in any event, Epcot's awesome. And we'll get to all of these places again this year like we do every year. It's just a question of trying to fit in everything at the right time. December is kind of a crazy month, I think, at this point too, because we have the new Star Wars movie coming out. And we have some family obligations. So, as well as at some point heading down back to Rock and Roll Ribs, and that will be taking place if folks follow the channel and they like music, they like Iron Maiden, and I know we've had a lot of Maiden fans that tune into the videos. We'll be back at Rock and Roll Ribs very shortly for some of that Iron Maiden barbecue goodness. So I also want to talk about one thing that, because I think we have a lot of wrestling fans that come back to the channel time and time again. The big question that we've been getting consistently, because Wrestlemania is back in Orlando in 2017, it comes to us Sunday, April 2nd, is whether we're going to Wrestlemania or not. And as you guys can see, I have the Wrestlemania ticket page up on Ticketmaster. Now, for the longest time, my response has been, when folks are asking whether we're going to Wrestlemania or not, is we need to see what the ticket prices are and where we can sit. The Wrestlemania event itself is taking place at Camping World Stadium, formerly known as the Citrus Bowl. This is the same place that Orlando City Soccer plays at. And for folks that are not familiar with the stadium, the lower level was renovated, not too long ago, and it has decent seats, like seat backs, things that you'd expect at a sporting stadium. The upper level is absolutely brutal to go to for any type of event, because it has long metal type benches. So basically, they're allocating like 8 inches for everyone's butts to sit on in a seat, and if you get a couple of folks that are larger, your seating experience becomes extraordinarily difficult and long, especially considering that Wrestlemania typically goes for 5+ hours. There are no seat backs in the upper deck as well. So if you're sitting, it's basically, theme park wise, if you guys have been to Universal Studios or the other places, or like high school gymnasiums, you're like leaning forward like this for a good 6 hours long with no seat back, very little leg room or seats, and people are sitting on top of you. That does not spell fun for me at any type of sporting event. So I was very anxious to see what ticket prices were going to be like. Tickets are not on sale for Wrestlemania until Friday. They do have a pre-sale on Thursday, and a party that they're holding for the pre-sale that I think we're going to probably try to get to. But in the meantime, the City Card pre-sale did happen today, so you can go about and see what the ticket prices are. Now the good news is tickets start at $38. The problem is those tickets don't seem to be available anywhere within the site. So if you select $38, it automatically bumps you up to the next level ticket, or whatever's available within the pre-sale. So $38, I can only imagine, put it in the best terms, you basically would be sitting next to Jesus, or maybe like a helicopter guy in the sky somewhere, because I couldn't imagine where those tickets are. Ringside seats run $2,100. And then what I had figured price-wise was, let's see what the lower level seats are. I'm not talking field level. I'm talking like section 100 type seats that go around the lower bowl of the stadium. So if folks are expecting to go lower bowl, the ticket prices to me are, you think of a cartoon like Beetlejuice with eyes shooting out. They run somewhere between $213 to $480 for lower bowl tickets. The $213 tickets that I was able to see today through the City Card presale, which to me it's astounding enough, are almost in line with what the entrance board is when folks are coming out. So I think that if you're looking to see like wrestler entrances, you would not be able to see them so much from those tickets, and that's at $213. They're basically cheap seats. Not very cheap. The $267 tickets were like a section over or so, or all the way in the back. So you're seeing the ring opposite, or the entrance ramp opposite, kind of like where we sat for Guns N' Roses. So mind you, with the ring in the middle of, like the 50-yard line, these are seats that are pretty much, people are starting to look like ants to begin with in the middle of the ring. And comparably, I think the last time WrestleMania was here, tickets in those areas pretty much ran, I believe at that point, like $70. So a good couple years later, we're up in like the $200s to $300 tickets. The other thing to consider is that there is a service charge on each of these tickets of like $35, and then a service fee for the stadium of like another $3. So it's almost like $40 extra per ticket on top of the ticket price, which at this point is almost making me think that WrestleMania is almost cost prohibitive to go to for us. For a family of 3 that wants to be able to sit somewhere that my back is not going to kill me and somebody's not going to look like a termite, it's basically costing me more than $700 for us to go. Now also keep in mind that along with WrestleMania comes the additional events that happen throughout the weekend and in the week. So you have the Hall of Fame that's happening, you have Raw that's at the arena on Monday night, you have SmackDown that's happening on the Tuesday night, there's an NXT event happening as well, and then there's also like the fan access stuff that's happening. So we're talking about at minimum, for any of these events, plus going to WrestleMania, plus the parking, plus the food and everything, maybe like $1,500 to almost $2,000 to be able to just enjoy WrestleMania weekend in Orlando. And I think for most folks that live in Florida, they've kind of priced themselves out at this point. I would be surprised, but places always seem to fill up, especially, I'm sure tickets will go from scalpers and from people outside, but that's a heck of a lot of money to see a product that I'm not particularly too high on these days. So, long answer is, when tickets do go on sale for the pre-sale, I'll look again. Right now, not looking too positive about us going to WrestleMania. Also happening within the same month of WrestleMania taking place is Star Wars Celebration in Orlando, which is, a short while after that. As well as Welcome to Rockville happening in Jacksonville, which is the annual concert that we normally go to with all of the hard rock heavy metal bands. So April would be a phenomenally expensive month should WrestleMania end up happening for us. And for dinner, slop. We are going to need to eat a lot of slop in order to buy WrestleMania tickets. And for those that haven't followed us for a long time, slop is something that was passed down from my grandmother years and years ago when money was very tight during the World War II era, when it was basically just egg noodles, tomato soup, and like some type of chopped meat, probably chopped turkey, because we're not allowed to eat red meat in this house. But Mary's nodding her head off camera, so it's cheap. Tastes good to me, but yeah, we're going back to World War II savings here. So it is 11 o'clock at night. We finally caught up on The Walking Dead this week. I'm joined by Mary. Ooh, in her pajamas. Walking Dead was 90 minutes. Again, no spoilers for anybody that has not watched the show yet. This was a very slow episode.
Very slow.
And I'm starting to feel like since the show came back, it had an amazing first episode, and now it's kind of really dragged on and on. And it's a lot of story and needing to fill in the picture, but in the meantime,
build up.
Yeah, but in the meantime, while you're waiting for story, I think it's a little easier to follow along in a book type format if you're binge reading the graphic novels or the comics. But TV, it's kind of painful to watch.
This episode was very painful to watch. I actually liked last week's. It was very interesting.
Yeah. And now we see, and I don't think this is a big spoiler because you're going to see TV commercials for this anyway. Obviously, the return of the Hilltop and Jesus finally coming back. So,
Yay!
Yeah. Jesus was my favorite new character that they introduced last year. I loved that character altogether, and we waited for his autograph, Thomas Paine, in the MegaCon event this year. Put a link to that over here. I couldn't talk to him on camera or anything because they forced their talent to not be on video or pictures unless you're paying for them while you're at MegaCon. But I had a great conversation with the guy. I thought he was superb, awesome guy to talk to, and love the character still. So very much looking forward now to next week.
Yes.
Where it looks like I might pick up a little bit, but this has put me in the mood for sleep. It's after 11 o'clock, so
Yeah.
I'm going to go to sleep. So I know we rambled on a lot in this video. There's a lot of talky, and hopefully we'll get to Hollywood Studios tomorrow night and show you a little bit more fun stuff. But for now,
Yay!
thank you for all of your likes. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your subscriptions. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Have a great night. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Do it!
Hey, so it is the following day. It's actually Wednesday afternoon when I'm recording this. Just want to let you guys know I caved. We're going to WrestleMania. We'll see you when whoever wins the Royal Rumble is pointing at that sign. Think of me as I eat my ramen noodles, because we will be there. So take care, guys.